on the international stage. This is a really good opportunity. I mean, how often do you get to say that watching Counter-Strike come through from Nigeria? We'll take a look at the Egyptian squad, however, and, for them, we just caught them, very talented bunch, and I think, for what we've seen so far, they're a team that I'd actually love to see on a LAN stage.
Yeah, they looked like they had individually some interesting players to look out for, right? Like your Bingo and Alone probably were stealing a lot of the spotlight, but I thought someone like FaZe seemed like he had a lot of individual moments where I was thinking, okay, this actually looks really good. So yeah, I could see them making it there. They feel like one of those teams that that they've got some depth to them. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them on LAN either. A lot of the Twitch chat were talking about Bingo as well, so he seems to be like a sort of a local hero, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Why not have that going on? I mean, yeah, if I got a chance to go do a LAN in Legos, I would do it 100%. Like that seems like really fun.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I've heard some cool things about the city, so that would be pretty cool. And this is one of the great things about esports. It gets to take you to some really, really cool places, and having the opportunity to go to a country like that, it would be pretty sick. I mean, I just got back from Mongolia, which was pretty awesome.
True, yes.
Not often, even getting to visit places that you maybe wouldn't really even consider as sort of, I guess, holiday destinations. For Mongolia, I've heard bits about it, but know so little about it before I went, and then I've just come back, and awesome place. So I'm sure it'd be exactly the same for places like Nigeria. I mean, even coming through for Casablanca, Morocco. Never been, but I've heard very, very good things. We'll have to see. This is the Nigeria side for you, of course. We did get to catch these guys on stream earlier, so there will be a couple of new names, and one in particular that I love, John Cruz. Sick name.
That is he's probably won the name round so far. It's a banging name. We've got Vlad, we've got Kasuki, we've got Matrix Sama, and we've got Gulos, I guess, Digulus, something like that.
Digulus.
Digulus. I think Digulus sounds, that sounds better. I like that.
Works.
Yeah, it's always fair. Again, pretty good names, I think. As a caster, it's something we obviously care a lot about, because sometimes we get wrecked when people choose names that are just impossible to pronounce. But these guys have done a fine job. Yes, that's the Nigerian squad. It's going to be interesting to see how they will play out. Yeah, but you're right, like, about the esports. I think it is interesting. It's fun to go to new places. I was in Bulgaria just recently, in Sofia, and I've never. It was so weird to me. I've never been to Bulgaria before. I thought once I landed at the airport, I thought surely I've been here before. Like, it's I've been to Romania a million times. I thought there's no way that this is the first time, but it was. I've never been there. So really cool city. Well, I would recommend it.
How did you find it?
Like the capital city. I mean, obviously didn't go too much. I did actually go hiking on a mountain nearby.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah, it was really sick. But the capital city itself is also just beautiful. Really cool place. Would recommend. Yeah, nice. It's worth going. It's one of these cities that's been occupied in the past by like different religious factions, and that just makes it like really just got like interesting architecture. It's worth doing for sure.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely if you're in the area, you should go check it out. As you can tell, the countdown is still on. We are just warming up into this game that's going to be happening, Egypt versus Nigeria here. Second match of the day, headed towards the Casablanca finals, which is it's going to be interesting.
And like we said as well, just for those who maybe didn't join us for that first game of the day, the way it works here in this tournament, there is 5 teams vying for 4 spots at the Casablanca finals, as Anthony just mentioned. And already there's 4 teams locked into the Casablanca finals. We've got Team Morocco, of course, the host nation. We've got Team Mauritius, Team Namibia, and Team South Africa. So pretty damn cool situation for us, where some fairly decent teams are present. And as well for South Africa, they're a side actually who have caught on LAN. A couple of those guys played in a couple of the ESL tournaments through the South Africa qualifiers, so they're a pretty decent team. They play under the banner of Kitsune Esports. So for me, they're aside, not even just my personal bias being South African, but I want to keep an eye on them as they wait in the wings. And yeah, the basically the top 4 from this will be joining those 4, and it's an 8-team tournament. Pretty sick. Best of ones in the groups, all the way to double elim bracket in playoffs, which are all best of 3, including the final. And from that, the top 3 make it to Riyadh. It's pretty sick, man. It's a pretty cool little year of Counter-Strike here for IESF, and they really are getting some cool nations involved.
Yeah, imagine that for some of these countries here, like going to Morocco first to play, but if you're in that top 3, you go to Riyadh to play the end of it. That's so sick, right? Like what a huge victory if you can get there. and quite a journey as well. So yeah, it's kind of slowly been built up over the years here at IESF, but I've got to say, just looking at the internal structure that's being built behind it, like I think one thing is having the tournaments and having like the whole schedule going on, but I think what's happening inside of the country is really worth thinking about too. And it's fun, you meet some of these representatives from the different esports factions in different countries, and you can kind of tell that it's everyone has like the long view of it, like how, we build it now, but what's happening in like 4 or 5 years is also going to be important. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's nice to see this being slowly built up from the ground.
Yeah, let's take a look at the veto heading in towards this one. Ban going to come through from Nuke nice and early. I think we kind of spoke a little bit earlier. Map which has not been very popular here, just in general, is Vertigo, funnily enough. And there it is actually banned immediately. It's a map which just really hasn't been favored in the pro scene for a while. No matter whether you're on previous or post patch, it's just the pros don't like it, really. First pick is going to be that of the Dust 2. That's actually picked out by Egypt. Nigeria get that starting towards that CT side. A little bit more favorable. Nigeria for them, I'm expecting probably a pick similar to that earlier, which is Mirage. And yes, you're going to go exactly into that. But honestly, Egypt didn't look too bad on Mirage earlier, so it could be a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, they maybe were slow to start, but they started to wake up a little bit towards the end of it, so it could be risky. Third map. Okay, they're going to be banning out Ancient, so I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed that people are banning out Vertigo as much as they are. I kind of want to see it. I want to get a chance to see what it's like in competitive play. So
have you got to cast the new patch yet?
No, not really.
It's quite interesting. I can't lie. People are really still caught off guard. Over towards A with that rafters position. People are really overlooking that a lot. Like I've cast it twice now in a couple of online tournaments, and yeah, people just forget it's a position. It's like that muscle memory is not trained yet.
That's interesting. That's one of the things that I do like about this kind of thing, though. It's fun when the maps change a little bit. I hope they keep doing that. Valve, just make small changes, even if it's just like a box on a bomb site, but it could really change the dynamic of a game. So
yes,
hopefully we're going to be seeing that.
Yeah, for me, the big thing that I'm looking towards here is, I mean, I guess in terms of the conversation about the veto is, or not the veto, I guess maps is, I want to see new maps, dude. We like at the moment, I have so many people. You might have an opinion on this as well, being, you've been in the game a little longer than I have, but a lot of people talking about bring back Overpass. Now, as somebody who was a viewer from like 2015 onwards, but didn't really get involved until like 2020. I always never liked Overpass. I think it's kind of an overrated map. I think it's very nostalgia bias heavy, as maybe a little bit of like a new generation caster. But you are one of the OGs. What are your thoughts? You think is there scope for a map like Overpass? Because when I personally remember is that when Overpass was in the pool, everybody hated it.
Yeah, that's true. I think in general, people just grow to love whatever they kind of know, and people they don't want things to change, right? But then when something's changed and it's been like that for a while, then everyone will say, oh, now we love this thing, and now we don't want it to change ever again. I think generally people are bad, broadly speaking, at having any kind of a perspective in that sense. Like I would say that the thing is, like, as long as you just keeps things a little bit fresh, like either change the maps that exist or bring in some new maps on some sort of reasonable rotation. Obviously too much can be crazy, but I like it when there's some new mixed stuff in there. Like I hope that we can get Cash back in the mix. Like that was such a well-rounded map, I thought, and I think FMPone is remaking it a little bit now. So
looks cool. Looks very cool. I have to say
it does, yeah.
It would be awesome to see Cash back in. That's one of the maps that I think, even with nostalgia bias, everybody agrees it was just brilliant.
Yeah, I think so. So like keep it fresh, because it also changes what teams get to be on top, right? Like it does kind of mix up things. Some my team might be like, maybe their best map goes out, and that sucks for them. But it's exciting because now maybe somebody else is going to be able to do something. I think it just makes it more fun to watch Counter-Strike over the long stretch. So hopefully we can do that. All right, I'm seeing. Still, the Egyptian fans in the chat are there. They're excited for them. Had quite a few Algerian fans for the last one too. So yeah, we got some local fans showing up and enjoying the space, which is good.
Pretty damn cool. I think as well, just as an FYI, we are going to have a little bit of a roster change to a degree for Nigeria. Yossa is going to be stepping in for Digulus in the server, and especially off the back of maybe back 13-0s, they've realize, all right, we're gonna make a little change here. We're gonna try and adapt on the fly, which I'm a fan of. But hopefully we'll be getting on the way in just a second towards the game itself. Right now, though, All eyes are really on Nigeria in terms of what the response is going to look like. They need to show a bit of a better performance after what was, sadly a bit of a no-show in that previous one. If we can get it going, though, there is a world where, at the very least, Nigeria can open the door to a conversation here in this group. We are live. We are ready to get going.
Let's go.
Just 2 on your screens as Nigeria will be starting on that CT side. Egypt starting on the T side off the back of a pretty close map, or a pretty close series, I guess you could say. And they're hoping that they can turn their fortunes around.
Yeah, let's get right into it. John Cruz out on long, hunted down a low. Oh, the whole army is here. FaZe to follow it up. But the flashbang and 2 CTs caught on that long is not a good position to be in. Vlad also not able to land a headshot just yet here. So looks like for the minute here, it's certainly going to be a bomb plant. I don't think there's even a chance for a retake. Bingo just running them right over. Egypt coming in with supreme confidence at the start of this game.
Stop. Swinging in towards long. Nice and easy. Nice and simple. John Cruz tries to get a smoke down to at least buy himself a bit of time, but he gets caught in transition. As he falls, so does kind of the team. And smoking towards CT nice and simply means the round is taken. Egypt, the first on the board, is good for them. And still looking like a really solid side. I mean, we have quite high expectations of them. Nigeria, double scout investment going to come through for them. I don't hate that. A map like Dust 2 is kind of the perfect sort of grounds to really flex your muscles with those scouts. You've got to hit a couple of shots, and that's a nice one. Vlad will find his.
Yeah, not badly done at all. Maybe a chance for another one. This is pretty bold, although I think it's always an interesting kind of conversation. Oh, failing to jump a little bit there with the boost up. It is kind of tricky in CS2, although I think they could have done it a little bit easier. But regardless, if you're the favorites, if you feel like you're going to be the better team coming into this one, you can make both arguments, right? Like, I guess it's like a personality difference, but some teams will say, okay, let's have some respect. Let's play to our strengths here. And some teams will say, let's run them over. Let's just give them no chance. And if that's how Egypt are coming into this, I mean, it could be another really brutal game, right? If you just have that kind of confidence, you can just win really quickly.
Personally as well, I mean, like I said, there's different mindsets about it, but I think these guys, as competitors, and with the stakes that are on the lines as well, this is an international line representing your country. For me, the way I would come into this is actually don't pull any punches. You've got to actually showcase to other teams that, we're no joke aside. We have an idea of what we want to bring in towards this sort of LAN environment, and for Egypt, we want to be there. To start putting a couple kills come through, make that FaZe winds one through the smoke, and that'll be that. But yeah, that's my mindset as we see that round quickly taken by Egypt. It's, for me, I'm looking at this and say, for Egypt, come in and actually showcase that you are the dominant side. In a way, it's disrespectful to kind of joke around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Like, definitely just, to close it out as soon as you possibly can. Like you pointed out, there's a lot on the line here. And you don't want to get too overconfident, start having too much fun. So just kind of, if you can power on through, then more power to you. It's round number 4 here, and yeah, look at this. It's the same protocol every time. Flashes out, catching them on the corner. Yeah, you can definitely tell the massive level difference at the moment. Like, there's no other way to say it, not to dunk too much on the Nigerian squad, but that kind of protocol for how to hold long, if you don't have that down, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're like trying to reinvent it on the spot, you're like, oh, it's a flashbang, I wonder what I'm doing. Am I fighting? Am I falling back? Is there a teammate to flash me in? Like, what are we doing here? Like, if you don't have that down, it's gonna be rough. Like, they can keep doing this, Egypt. There's nothing to really stop them.
Yeah, this so far is so good. I think you're spot on. Basically, when you look at the way in which you got to approach this for Nigeria in these long controls, then the way it's always been played at the top level is it's spawn based. Whoever has that spawn has to try and get a Molotov down early, but so far it doesn't seem to be the case. A little late on these peaks here. Flash can come on the corner. Wesley would have spotted one behind that smoke. Spam gets close, but it's not good enough, and now they're rushing towards long. Vlad the first to fall, the missed shot, and a lot of pressure. And Matrix Armor gets one, but he's traded immediately. And Yossa, he may have lost. Oh, no, he's here. Not much longer, though. I think he may have had some sort of internet issue or something, but
that's what it looked like, yeah, unfortunately. Which, again, like, given the massive size of the continent, it's not too crazy to imagine that there could be some various tech issues, unfortunately. Probably quite hard to find a common server. So, but yeah, that's kind of the nature of the whole thing right now. There's no way around it. We're stuck with the logistics that we have for the minute. It is a 5-0 lead, and that I think, you know, to Egypt's credit, they're coming in here. It didn't even look like it took them a long time. I think as soon as they won the pistol round, they kind of realized, hey, wait a minute, we can just power through here. Attempted stack towards the A side. Again, that's definitely a sign of desperation, I think, for the Nigerian side. I mean, and I can understand why. Like, what else are you supposed to do if you can't hold long at all? You know, maybe try and stack it and get something on the board here, but this is brutal.
It is. It is. I mean, no joke at all for Egypt, who are absolutely rolling through it. 9-0 for FaZe, 8-0 for B2K, 5-0 for Bingo. So far, so good. As it's a 6-0 start, and Nigeria really fluctuating between the economies. It's, you know, full buy-in, not find that success. Eco, rinse, and repeat, and this is where games can very, very quickly just run away from you. Either way, though, far from game over or job done just yet, Egypt. They can't afford to get comfortable. They can't afford to get lax in this one. Hot flash around the corner. One spotter going in towards lower, but B2K given cat control.
You can also see Egypt are able to throw that Xbox smoke, which in itself is kind of like a display that, okay, you have some sense of what's going on the map. Like, you know that Xbox smoke is important. I think it's quite possible that we're going to see, you know, more and more mistakes coming out of the Egyptian side, just because you're winning so much that every individual is going to be like, well, we're just fighting. Like, why? Who cares, right? Which, that's a hard instinct to fight when you're winning a lot. It can sometimes backfire, but it seems like they're fine. It looks like Yosa still has a couple of issues here with the setup, so hopefully that's something he can figure out sooner rather than later.
Oh. Hang on. Right. Alone. Don't get too overzealous here, my friend. Spotted. He's sticking around for the fight. He needs to be careful. He needs to buy time. This is actually a lot closer than I think they would hope, but he will get one with the fade away. And I think time too far gone as well. Look at that final kill. He's tapping around that corner, and he will get it in the end. But, as to be said, a little closer than I think Egypt would have wanted. Regardless, round is around.
Yeah, a couple of shots coming out there from John Cruz, so definitely would have been a chance there. 7-0 though. I mean, they are speed running it at a rate that we've rarely ever seen before. But we did get kind of a sense of it, right? We did say that game against Algeria that Egypt just played, it could have been a third map. It probably maybe should have been a third map on Inferno. Algeria snuck it away on Anubis, so maybe it's not too unexpected here. Egypt does look like a competent team right now. Not lacking in confidence. Fighting in the middle here. It's absolutely nothing they can do on the other side here. What you said, they already got, you know, 13-0 twice on the first two maps, on the first match that they had. It looks like that could be happening again.
Sadly, I think you're right, man. I think you are, because they're just not giving us a lot to work with. Swing and a tag. He gets close, but no cigar. Yossa's only got the USPS, but he has got himself a kill. All right.
What we said there's 230 million people in Nigeria. You gotta, I'd be so interested if we had like Steam stats for like what is the Counter-Strike being played from there. I'd just be so interested. Yeah, that'd be so curious to figure out like what is the level of representation. Just for the fun of it.
See, how many people in Nigeria play Counter-Strike? Let's see. There's yeah, I feel like Valve should have something, right? You know what I mean? To a degree that says like per country.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. I don't actually know how much they regionalize the Steam stats. So maybe they just. Hopefully they don't just say Africa. I feel like.
Sure. Yeah.
But maybe they do. All right, a little bit of a timeout. I guess it's still Yosha who's having a tough time with the connection. And again, he was swapped in for somebody else. So hopefully they have maybe a seventh guy they can pick up and throw to the server. If two people are having issues, that could be a real challenge.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough, isn't it?
It's one of the things we talked about earlier. Like, you know, with some of these regions where it could just be hard to find like a server that's regionalized for you. Sure. Like that in itself becomes a bit of a challenge. It's something that maybe we don't think about if we end up playing a lot from America or Europe or maybe even Asia. Sometimes it's just like of course there's going to be some regional server you can play on, but get a little bit outside of that and you could end up in a different position. So we'll see if they can find a way to reconnect onto the server. We do have a pause function, so at least you know, they're not going to get too wrecked at the moment. But I'm sure there's a time before they can get somebody back on here.
Yeah. Big thing is really looking at this and just saying, you know, where we're at the moment with this 8-0 start. It's a bit of a dire showing so far, I guess, in this early part where we have to be a little bit careful. I think on the other side as well, we've got to look at Egypt. A couple of these rounds will be maybe a little bit closer than they would want, just in the sense that they're, I think, being a little loose, which is fair enough when you're 8-0 up, but you need to be careful not to let things fall apart. Well, things are going very, very well over them. Apparently, Yosha, I mean, not apparently, we can see he has issues with his PC, sadly. So, you know, I think, I mean, he was replacing Digulus.
Yes. So maybe they can get him back on the server. You know, throw him in there. Yeah, we'll wait on confirmation. We're not in a hurry here. It does kind of feel like Egypt anyway are speed running the game, so you know, we'll allow for a little bit of a break just to catch up with everything. Sure. Shout out to you guys in the chat that are hanging out over on Twitch or on YouTube if you're following there. I believe it's been broadcasted in both places if you're interested. So yeah, it's nice of you guys to hang out. It's the first day of many still to come. You said there's a female tournament as well. That I think is really cool. I'm excited about that. Obviously, I was just covering the ESL Impact stuff not that long ago, but I think it's nice that that we're getting like that parallel run there. So I'm quite happy for that. Yeah, no, it's really cool. We have qualifiers, same sort of vibe here, where it's EU, Americas, Asia, and in towards Africa. I think Africa's 2 spots towards the main event in Riyadh, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I think that starts a couple of days off the top of my head. Should be cool. Should be cool indeed. But yeah, so far, so good for the likes of Egypt. We do have to wait. Yosh is back in, though, which is good. Okay, nicely done. Yosh are in. So hopefully he's moving, which is a good sign. I'm not too sure. I don't know if we can tell them, but, you know, observers, if you can hear us, let's look at the scoreboard. I just want to check out kind of what pings are looking like. If it's a little bit kind of one side, it's actually, it's pretty rough, isn't it, towards Nigeria? It is the issue. I think, you know, when we saw the RMRs, there's actually a big point of conversation and contention there where a lot of teams actually go in boot camp in like Dubai or places like that in the Middle East because they get better servers. And it's a bit of an awkward thing where, sadly, you know, for Counter-Strike, I guess for Valve as well, there really just isn't the infrastructure that deep in towards Africa. I think you've got one server in South Africa, and then it's all North Africa and towards the Middle East. Yeah. Okay. That could be... It's like 150 ping there. That was tough. I'm sure that's been a conversation in the past, but like that is a sizable ping difference. But we kind of knew that coming into it. Like that's unfortunately one of the things they probably have to fight your way through. So no way around it. I would say if you get onto like much higher pings, then you know at some point just buy the P90 or something like that. It might even be a better weapon in some cases if you're just going to be running and gunning. Like you're not going to be taking like really accurate swings with like it's like precision AK tapping. Like at that point, just you know. Get something with a lot of bullets in. Yeah, I honestly, you know, I play a lot with friends in America, and I hover around 80 to 100 ping, and the kind of the way we play around it is, you know, first of all, you know, we can be kind of biased there, but Europeans are better at Counter-Strike, right? So I think than the average American on, you know, a matchmaker server. I back myself as a better player, and you know, I'm pretty confident, but it's very swing heavy because I know because of the ping difference, I can kind of have like half a second where I can catch them off guard. Maybe I can see them before they can see me, just kind of how sub-tick works and all that. So yeah, I think if you're Nigeria, maybe trying to do the same. Pop flashes over. Oh my God, that's such a risky call, but it's going to work if they swing through. B2K one, tapping away for more as well. And Wesso will clear out that B site very, very quickly down to 1. Yeah, it's like the confidence difference is so ridiculous. You could see it with, you know, everyone on Egypt is just, they've realized, they've understood from the game, listen, we can do whatever we want here. And there's no chance that that any one of the CT side at the moment is going to be able to do much of anything to reply with. So they're playing fast. They're flashing away through the smoke. They are doing everything they can to bring this to a W. Which again for Egypt, I mean that's gonna massively improve their chances to actually make it to Morocco to play in the finals. Which at this point, like now that we know them a little bit, I hope they will. Like I think this seems like a fun squad, so it does. I'm with them. We've got some cool talent there. There's no two ways about it. Oh, stuck in towards car. Yeah, I was gonna say, you're probably a dead man walking. The second you miss that first shot, you leave yourself so vulnerable. Yeah.
John Cruz behind the smoke. He will be spammed and B2K. Gonna get a nice little 2K headshot at the end. Egypt 10-0. Nice start for them.
They're just working on their like personal highlight reels at this point. It's like,
Yeah.
get me in the mix. Like, hold on. Let me try and do something like that. This happens, right? Like this is this is also part of the nature of the qualifier, right? I hope personally that I get to kind of follow this IESF project for a long time, because
I'm with you, man.
Because then the question sort of becomes, right? Well, can Nigeria field a better team, you know, next season or next season again? Like, could there be like a you know, a bit of a different scenario there? So hopefully that's also just a story that we can, you know, we can talk about it now, but obviously hopefully that's going to be something that we'll follow later on.
Yeah, I think, you know, for ISF, the you know, we obviously were in Yash together last year. Really fun event, and
yeah, it was.
You know, there's a reason why we're back, right? We love the project. We love kind of the idea around ISF.
Yeah.
The prospects are actually kind of infinite, right? You know, we look at kind of even international sports, the Olympics, World Cup, the Euros, all of the rest. This is basically the idea that the ISF can bring to Counter-Strike. And when you think of it on a grand scale, I mean, even if you think in 2-3 years time with the potential, I mean, year on year, I was actually looking back to, you know, obviously we ended last year and then of course now this year, but if you look, I was looking, you know, years in the past, and the teams year on year get 10 times as better each and every time, which is sick. I mean, even now I've been hearing rumors about some of the teams that are going to be turning up from other regions, and there's some pretty big names trying to make their way towards Riyadh. So honestly, there's a really cool prospect here for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think people will notice that it's just going to matter more and more. Like, representing your country is a fun thing, even if you're like on a big team. Like, it is just fun to be like, okay, I'm going to try and see if I can do it for, you know, for my country, and I think that's always going to mean something to people. So this time it is going to be a 12-0 first half for Egypt, as the last grenade will land, alone able to catch Matrix Summer at the CT spawn, and that is going to be the absolute blazing through that one on Egypt's side. There's not much really to say, not much to analyze, obviously, at this point in time. They're just winning really quickly. Yeah,
there's no two ways about it. 12-0, and I feel like this one is probably on its last legs already. For a pistol round here for Egypt, 13-0, and that'll be, unfortunately, the third 13-0 in a row for Nigeria. They had back-to-back 13-0s earlier against Tunisia. Yeah, it was tough. No two ways about it. They're going to activate Alone. Actually should catch one crossing at the very least. Oh, what he does. Alone gets one. Matrix, though, as he flies out along, will get one of his own, but B2K still down to hold the fort, and that will be all she wrote. 13-0 again against the Nigerian side, and Egypt, they made light work of that one.
Yeah, they really did. Again, like I've got to say, like, credit to them for discovering right at the beginning. It's like, okay, there's a huge level difference. We've got everything on our side. We're just playing at a little bit of a better ping. Let's just go. Let's just knock them out. So really well done. Obviously that's the first map in a best of 3. Still got another map coming up, but it's very hard to imagine that it's going to be super, you know, different. You can just tell that Egypt they kind of know what the clock is here, what time it is. So yeah, let's keep it up, do it more. If you're the better team, this is what it should do. It should happen, right? Yeah. No reason for them not to play in this fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. That, of course, that was a relatively quick one. We do still have a series on our hand here, so it's not games at a match just yet. Of course, I mean, that was Egypt's pick, but next is Nigeria's pick of Mirage. We're gonna throw this on top right, ladies and gentlemen, when we are back. We're heading into map number 2. We'll see you soon. So, welcome back. We're about to go on the way in towards our second map here. It was a 30-0. There's no two ways about it. You know, for Nigeria, I hate to say it, but that's their third 30-0 in a row. And Egypt are keeping that same level, that same energy in towards this one. He actually got a tag jumping there, which is kind of crazy. Yossa going to get one with the Julies, but only. They flooded in towards the A side, and already Nigeria down to 2. And I think he lagged for a second there.
That's, I mean, listen, we saw the ping difference earlier. I'm sure that apart from just the obvious sort of like player level difference here, I think the Nigerian squad are also suffering from some of the tech issues that come with it. So, I mean, that's unfortunately part of the game here. At the end of the day, it's a qualifier. We want to find the best team possible to make it to the land of Morocco, and right now, that definitely looks like it's the Egyptian squad, at least in this matchup. So, I don't know. There's no other way around it here. We can't really sugarcoat it too much. If you guys were watching the first map, then you know what we're talking about. If you didn't, and you're just joining us, a big welcome. But you're probably going to see more of the same. The Egyptian side, they understand that they are just way better. Like, you can see from the grenades they throw. You can see it from the confidence in which they're running into some of these fights. They haven't... in their minds, they've probably already won this. They're just, like, powering through.
Yeah. I think you are right, man. What did the opening kill? Scout, a couple of good pistols, but nothing too audacious in this one. Wesso tapping away. Doesn't want to get one with the scout, but he's very instantaneously traded. And this one is done, and I think we may have lost Vlad again. He did lag out.
Yeah.
Towards that pistol, and I think he might have fully gone now. Oh.
Oh, he's playing with him, isn't he?
No, he's toying with his food. Oh, he's gone. He actually has gone.
Ooh, but that means he didn't get the kill. So that's,
true.
you know, yeah.
I think at this point, do they care?
Probably not. Probably not. Oh, it's like disconnecting from official games, like in the middle of it, is like one of the worst feelings. I guess disconnecting from games in general is like not a fun time when you're like, oh, I could do something. I've got a kill maybe, or I wanna get back in the game, and then you just you see that little connection thing. So sucks. We'll see if they are gonna be calling for a pause. I feel like surely they will, but all right. John Cruz remains the only one so far that we've seen who seems to have the aim down a little bit, and also obviously the best name, so it makes sense.
Yeah. What a name, John Cruz. And respect it. Really top when you got John, but unfortunately, we'll only get the one in towards this one, and a 3-0 start for Egypt. Yeah, they just know they're the better side. They're just flying into the fights. There's no two ways about it.
I feel like John Cruz just sounds like the most amazing knockoff movie where it's like copyright infringement safe. Like I would actually, I would love it if somebody did that and just like, listen, we've made a new movie. It's called John Cruz. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, stop us. There's no way. There's nothing they can do. It's a name. And he's like, he's a spy, but like, you know, just slightly different. Just enough that it doesn't.
Exactly. Like you just make it exactly like Mission Impossible, but you know, just slightly different actor, slightly, just close enough.
I'm trying to think like who is like the best sort of Tom Cruise lookalike as well. Just close enough to be like.
It's Device.
Yeah, Device. Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Bingo alone, get off the last couple of kills and a 4-0 start for Egypt. Nigeria, this is tough. This is tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I think they've even given up on the pause. They're like, you know what? Who cares? We're just going to be playing with 4 members anyway. Although, admittedly, they can't have the problem that their earlier 5th member, I think, also had disconnected tech issues. So they might just not even have more people on standby that can actually connect to the server. So if that's the case, then I guess they don't have much of a choice. I'm sure the rule set says that there's some limited amount of time. Usually that's how it works. Like you have some time to fix tech issues, and after that, you just kind of have to play on. So they already had a couple of them. Maybe they're just out of time for the day, like to do it. So we'll see. A little bit of a chatting back and forth is what it sounds like at the back of the server. But yeah, Egypt are powering on through to another victory. This is looking pretty grim at the moment.
It is. There's no two ways about it. I think, unfortunately, yeah, tech pause now called. I think you get, on average, I think it's 15 minutes per map. I say that. Tech pause done. We are just going straight back into it. So they're just going to play with 4, which is, I mean, it's a bold strategy, but I mean, at this point, if it is, you know, probably looking unlikely, I don't know, may as well just go for it, right, and see what they can do. John's AFK.
Yeah.
Let's get going, mate. We're live, fella. We are live.
Well, that's the issue, right? Like, if you can't get him back on, then, you know, what do you do? Like, at some point, you just have to give up on it. So, the nature of the game when you're playing online Counter-Strike in 2 different regions. All right.
No.
Kazuki's coming back into... They're getting some good kills in this round. One of the first rounds that we've seen, although Bingo is still alive, and we know what he could do. The bomb's being planted on the other side. They are really far away at the moment.
Oh, there was a second. There was a moment. I thought... Oh, yeah. Well... This is a tough old spot. I thought for a second they might have done something. That double in towards short. Oh, he's going to be caught reloading. Ooh. Oh, Bingo toys with his food a little bit. 5-0. Just an update for everyone as well. With Nigeria, of course, they did start this one. It's round 4v5. They've also played 4v5. Apparently, the tech issues seem, at least for the moment, unfixable. So they're just going to try and roll with the punches and see what they can do. But, you know, they're pretty close. Bring it down to a 1v2 there at tail end with a 4v5. That's not terrible.
Yeah, even individually, right? Like, you know, you're not going to be winning this game, but at least just for your own sake, like, get a couple of highlights in there, some memory that you can look back on and say, you remember that round? At least I had some sick headshots. Like, it's, you know, find the little victory sometimes, even if, you know, you're not going to be winning it here. Again, the flash setup and everything else, it is really, really overpowering. About to be a 6-0 lead here. So, yeah. Kind of lacking out on that 5th member is unfortunate. See if they looks like maybe they got him back on, potentially. Find out in a minute. But, this is very one-sided. We can only say it in so many ways.
It's true. It is very, very true. 6-0. Nice and simple, nice and easy. And, well, for Nigeria, I think the mental state's probably a little bit fragile off the back of not only the opening map, but the opening series. Then they got 30-0 in both of those 2 maps. So currently find themselves 0-39 off the back of map number 1, which is tough. There's no 2 ways about it. You know, we can be kind, but it can't be easy. In terms of, it's supposed to be a real tough day at the office, knowing, and also, you know, the externalities of player issues with being able to kind of get into the server and play, and ping issues on a 150 ping. It's tough. He fires spams the smoke, but Westo spams back and he'll get his.
Yeah, otherwise I think like that's the kind of pickup I would be looking for here. Like I'd be looking for an MP5, like a Bison or a P90. Like again, if I'm having such a big difference, I think sometimes you just have to try and play to the advantage. I think once you get over like 300 ping or something, I think the P90 is even at advantage. Like you might even be favored in some fights because you're just shooting around the corner half the time. Like it's so hard for anyone to beat you. So
no, I'm with you. I think honestly having just like that mentality of, right, I'm going to swing into fights here. I'm going to utilize my, you know, quite substantial ping difference to my advantage. I think that's honestly not a bad way to go about it.
Yeah, just lean into it at that point. Embrace the madness. What did Littlefinger say? Chaos is a ladder, you know.
There we go. Yeah. Just lean into it. Well, it's not good. Molotov is tickling the toes, and FaZe will see it off. 8-0. Very simple stuff. No 2 ways about it.
Yeah, one of the I remember once seeing like a map of all of the fiber wiring, like the underseas fiber wiring that happens around the world, and obviously this is one of the big issues that you could be running into here, is that it might not just matter where the server actually physically is. What might matter is like what is the round trip time, I believe is the technical term for like the data to go through, right? So like it doesn't help you if the server is next door in like Chad or something. Like that's not going to help you at the States, because it might be that the connection still runs like halfway around Africa for whatever reason. So yeah, just a lot of issues that obviously we can't fix yet. You know, Valve is a rich country. I don't think they're putting down their own fiber optic cabling yet. But we'll get there one day, you know. Steam will just take over, become like its own ISP as well. Get it done, Gavin.
Get it done, Gabe, right? Leader of the world, Gavin.
Imagine if that's how Counter-Strike tries to beat like every other FPS title. They're like, well, we have our own proprietary fiber lines to connect, you know, worldwide, and it's like we're running on our own internet
level type stuff, right? It's just like unbelievable, but that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, Also, you know, they're a private company, right? They're not listed, Valve. So
Yeah,
that's one way they can maybe, I don't know. I mean, they're making enough money. There's no two ways about it, but maybe not enough money, but they're at least one of the richer companies out there.
they are. I think they're the richest company in the world if you take like per employee.
Yes, yeah, they are. Yeah, 'cause they don't have a hell of a lot of employees, do they?
They don't have that many, and they're making quite a lot of money. So more power to them. It's good.
Fellas.
That's, you hate to see it, don't you? It's a classic. You're trying to escape. Your teammate's like, no, we're fighting. You're like, nope, I'm reloading, and there's no good compromises there. Wow, 10-0. We did expect it. We kind of knew this was happening, so at least we're not caught off guard this time. But
that's true. Very true, but yeah, tough, man. That was tough. One trying to fall away, not just teammates, and then they both line up. There's no other better way of putting it more than you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
I've never been more sad that we don't have like player cams for this. That'd be really funny, you know. Like at least we could have that, you know. That would have been good. But yeah, obviously it's still Egypt just sort of rocking on here. They are going to be playing again tomorrow, Egypt against Ghana at the end of the day. So we'll see them one more time. But currently, I'm rooting for them to make the finals in Morocco. I really want to see them get there. They seem like they know what they're doing.
He also got caught U-turn hand. I think he probably had a bit of a lag issue there. I had to make an assumption because he was out of it. Moves the run idea. I think he knows he's fucked.
Yeah, they're not planning the bomb either. They're just basically gunning for the last kill. Katsuki waiting on the other side, gonna get hunted down eventually, and it will be another round. So yeah, this is more of the same. No reason for Egypt to stop.
Why not? Why not? Flying into the fights and they just back themselves, and a 10-0. It's been pretty damn simple already, though. And Nigeria, they had a couple of moments, at least in my opinion, a couple more moments in this map than we saw towards Dust 2, where they've given us, you know, opportunities. 1v2 we had at one point. We had into the 2v2, which actually potentially earlier could have been converted in their favor. I think a bit of a lag issue made that tough, but generally it has been a tough day out at the office. Swinging a 5 B2K, gonna get one. He knows one as well. Is over towards Van. Comes over, and B2K just gonna get out of dodge. Doesn't even need to give him the fight.
No, not even a little bit. Just already doing right. Wow, all right.
What's he saying? What's he saying?
It looked like a W, so maybe they're just like celebrating their victory while the B2K's out. Oh, betrayed by his team who were partying in spawn. That's
a little bit too early, fellas. What were they saying though? I'm trying to think what they were trying to write. Unless it might not actually be in English. I don't even understand.
Yeah, we're not educated enough to be able to help out, unfortunately. But yeah, they're having a good time. Bingo's picked up the P90, so he knows what's up. Bomb making its way. Oh, Yotra actually maybe could be the hero here. They still 50 seconds. But, oh, he's a little bit late. Wow, this is... Oh, in terms of like level difference, got to be like the biggest difference I think I've seen in a long time in a Counter-Strike game. So.
Yeah, I think from my understanding, from what I can see in terms of my little bits of research, we got tagged as well, is you know, the Egypt guys pretty actually high level mechanically, where for Nigeria I think play little to no face it. I'm not even too sure there's really servers over there either, right? So it's going to make their life a little bit difficult, but I think the ones who do have face it are around kind of level 1, right? So it is not only level wise in terms of what we're seeing in the game, but also actually, I guess, literally in a sense as well. So hate to see it, 12-0, and it might be back-to-back 13-0 series for Nigeria, which is, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. We can only cast what we have in front of us, and sure. Nigeria obviously also with the at a disadvantage of playing 4 on 5 because they just disconnected from it. Okay, here we go. B2K put in his place. Katsuki so far has got like the only couple of kills that have looked interesting for them, so fortunately he's out of the round and they're right back in the mix here. Egypt looking to make it another 13-2. What a rough day. Bomb doesn't even matter. Knives inside of the smoke. The server almost broke, I think, behind that, but well done. 13-0 for Egypt.
Back-to-back 13-0s. 26-0. in the series and for Nigeria to start off this tournament. 0-52. Ah, man. I mean, you can't really even be all that positive about it realistically. You know, for Egypt though, good response, and as well for Egypt. You know, for us, we're saying, you know, we can only cast what's in front of us. Same thing for Egypt, right? They can only play what's in front of them, and I think that's exactly the way you should come in towards a game like that. They're a side who are very good in terms of their individual ability. They can bring, you know, at least a level in mechanically where we can give them a lot of respect. I think for us, saying for them in a game like that, if you're not pulling any punches and showcasing how good you actually can be, that's exactly what we want to see.